Let's see what your questions are. So Shashank says, let's see what's Shashank's question. Okay, Shashank is saying study visa is better option than trying for direct PR in this condition. Well, Shashank, first of all, it's not about better option or not better option. It's There are a lot of things which come into play. Well, if your purpose is only permanent residency, then you should look at different options before you sort of decide that this is the only thing which is going to work for you. And the reason for that, the reason why I'm saying that is because uh, it's expensive. Okay, international studies in Canada per year will put you back by roughly the cost of tuition fees will average between 16 to 24,000, depending on which province, depending on which program, depending on how long the program is. So that will sort of be expensive. And in addition to that of course you will need to cover your cost of studying in Canada, either other. So you'll be living here, you'll be working here, you will be paying a lot of money, right, for your expenses as well. So cost of living as well. So if that is not a problem, if that is something which is within the affordability, then yeah, I mean, yes, you can look at studying in Canada. As we go further in future in terms of Canadian immigration, uh, it may very well seem that studying in Canada is the best route in, because the way federal skilled worker program scores have been going on lately. I mean, everybody knows what the scores is. I mean, I don't even have to talk about that anymore. So far, how the scores have been going, it is looking practically difficult, very, very difficult. So the minute you cross the age of 30, 31, the scores are unachievable, right? So, and if that is how the scenario remains, or if that is how things will remain, then yeah, maybe studying in Canada is the option, or is the route. But then again, you need to put it into perspective, right? Are you going to do a 1 year program, or are you going to do a 2 year program? Okay, are you going to do a diploma, or are you going to do a master's degree? Now, if you do a diploma, the Canadian education points for diploma is 15 points. But if you were to do a master's degree, then you get 30 additional points just for doing masters in Canada. And we haven't even gotten to a point where we start talking about the postgraduate work permits. So there will always be that understanding and that difference. So once you have clarity on which way you want to take your studying in Canada to, will it gonna be? I mean, is it gonna be restricted only to just 1 year diploma, and then you get 1 year postgraduate work permit? The total benefit out of that is going to be, let's say, 15 points for the diploma, 35 points to 40 points CRS points for your Canadian education. And if at all you have work experience outside Canada, then you can also additionally get some additional points in the skills transferability. So collectively, 1 year diploma could get you anywhere from, let's see, 40 to 50, 55 points, give or take. I mean, again, I'm just saying it on top of my head. You'll have to go to the grid point to actually figure that out. But yeah, if that is the only way forward, then that is the only way forward. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else is there. Okay. Lalit, great question. Lalit is asking insight on the September intake, please. Now, as we know, that the May intake is already, I mean, it's definitely not happening with the way things are. With the way things are. Most of the colleges have already switched to online studying. So if you are one of the students who's already in Canada, then you're already studying online, I assume. And if you're not in Canada, then also, if you are still in the May intake, and if you wish to start your program, if you already got your approval for the visa, and if you wish to start your May intake, even if it was online studying, well, you can do that, and it will not affect your work permit options. So as long as you complete 50% or less on the online, I mean, as an online training or as an online classroom, it will not affect your work permit, even if you haven't arrived in Canada yet. So that is the indication we have so far from the Canadian government, and or other IRCC, and let's see how that plays. How the September intake happens, as of right now, there's a lot of worries, you see, because Canadian education is a multi-billion-dollar business. I mean, whether we like it or not, whether we can, want to put a money figure to it or not, it is. It's a huge economy-based business. It's so last year itself there were nearly 500,000 international students in Canada. From India alone, there are roughly 150 to 175,000 international students in Canada. So that's a huge chunk of people. When you say the population of the country is only 37 million people, so if you put it in perspective, that's a huge chunk of people who are in Canada as international students. It is also understood and said that international students contribute to almost 50% of what the colleges make, or rather have in terms of their revenue. So you're talking in many billions of dollars as revenue, which Canada is standing to lose with the way things are going. So yes, May intake is as of right now either switching to online classrooms, or lots of students, lots and lots, and I'm saying lots, I mean in thousands, people who are looking to start in May have deferred their intake program, or they have deferred their start to September as of now. With the way things are right now, we are hoping and praying that September should ideally start as normal. But that also means any new students who are looking to actually get admission into the September intake, now they are in a bit of a soup. The reason for that is because a lot of them would have applied for their visas now. Okay, but now if you apply for your visa, if you apply for your study permit visa now for a September intake, the thing is that you need to give biometrics. And biometrics as of right now, as you all know, because of the shutdowns, of the travel restrictions, because of all kinds of lockdowns, biometrics are not happening. VFS offices, VACs, offices are all at the moment closed. So people are already getting biometric extensions from 30 days to 90 days automatically. I'm not even sure if things will normalize in 90 days, as in, with so much of people who still haven't done their biometrics or who are pending for biometrics, all of them will then come forward, and then they might not get their appointments, right? So a lot of people will not be able to submit their biometrics, whereby they will not be able to come to Canada in time for September intake. So even if September intake was to start just the way it is planned, or the way it is expected, the things are going to look very, very difficult. So the best thing would be to be in touch with your college, to be in touch with your university, to be in touch with, if you're using a consultant, education consultant, or whoever that might be, to be in touch with them, ask for regular updates, and see how colleges are deciding how to move forward with this. As of right now, from what I'm hearing, September intake is going to start as normal. But again, depending on how things progress, that could very well change. So let's see how that goes. Okay, now, since none of our guests who are supposed to join have come in, if any one of you who's out there who is willing to sort of come online and speak to us, if you have a headphone, microphone, camera on with you, then this is the link. Check out the link. This is the link. Join me with this link if you can. Click on the link. Come and be my guest here. Let's talk about, if you're already in Canada, I would love to talk to you. I would love to understand, how are you coping up? How are you dealing with this whole situation with COVID-19? Is it working for you well? Is it not working for you well? Are the how are you facing, or rather, what kind of difficulties you're facing as far as part-time jobs are concerned, as far as your residences are concerned, your living conditions are concerned. Let's talk and share that. All right. So if any one of you who's listening as of right now, if you're out there, then do come on in. Let me just check something else for a minute, and then I'll be with you in a minute. Right. Surprisingly, I'm quite surprised, because when I posted this yesterday that I'm going to do this, there were lots of international students who said they would be happy to sort of join in, but unfortunately none of them have. Okay, meanwhile, let's take some other questions. Okay, Pamela Garg is saying, is CA Inter considered as a certificate course or professional degree? I can't tell you. Okay, the reason I can't tell you is because I am not the evaluating authority. you will have to send your credentials, your education credentials, to the ECA accredited agencies, and they will be the ones who will decide whether it's a certificate course. From the way I look at it, it's definitely not a professional degree. Definitely not, because there are certain degrees which have been identified and assigned by IRCC as to which degrees they will accept as professional degrees, and once you get the right kind of evaluation, they will give you the professional degree points. But from what I know and what I remember, CA Inter is not listed as one of the professional degrees. So yeah, that's the thing with that particular question. The next one from Chigi. Chigi says, by when can we apply for September intake for postgraduate diploma? I think due to Corona, admission dates would be extended. Please clarify if this is true. Well, it's not about me clarifying whether this is true or not. Well, it is obvious, right? Everything is, as I just explained a while ago, things are already very, very difficult as far as the admissions intake go. The thousands and thousands of students who were earlier coming to Canada in their May intake have already deferred to September intake. There were actually a lot of students who are looking to come to Canada in September. They have actually moved already, anticipating delays, anticipating problems, anticipating all kinds of issues. They have already deferred their September start to January, to the winter intake, or probably some of them have even gone so much ahead to even actually postponing it and deferring to the next year or next year's intake. So it's your decision to make. The things are, the way things are unraveling, the way things are looking, it is difficult, right? I don't have to say it to you. And obviously I'm not an expert in coronavirus or and any kind of virus or pandemic situation, so I will refrain from saying anything or giving my 2 bits there, because it's futile. But the way things are looking, this is going to take some time before it can settle down and before it can sort itself out. Now, because again, you see, classroom training or classroom studying basically means it will be very difficult to maintain social distancing, right? Because in a classroom, again, let's say first, or rather initially, your strength for the classroom was, say, 30 students in a class, right? And the classroom is equipped, or it is designed, or it is sized to sort of seat people or seat students pretty close together. Now, with this requirement of almost 2 meters of social distancing, they will need to now place students further away. Okay, and I personally feel this requirement of social distancing is going to stay. Rather, this requirement by the government, this requirement by the institutions, this requirement as social responsibility, it's going to stay for some time, right? Because as of right now, we are only figuring out the infection and trying to stop the infection. Once they figure out and stop the infection, or rather, I wouldn't say stop, but have some control on it, then will come the treatment part. And you're looking at a 7 billion, rather more than 7 billion population across the world. So you can expect the effect of this to sort of be very, very long lasting. So expect the result, or expect the things to flow into your classrooms as well, in terms of restrictions, in terms of, what may or may not be allowed, or what may or may not be acceptable. So expect your classroom strengths to reduce. Because the classroom strengths will reduce, basically you will be seated a bit further away. Expect lots of things which come in a college environment, a lot of things which come in as part of studying in a college, in a university, in terms of peer-to-peer sharing of so many aspects of learning. So forget about festivals, forget about social gatherings, forget about lots of extracurricular activities that are so synonymous to studying or part of the learning in as far as colleges are concerned. So a lot of them are going to take a beating, and things will make a big difference, because as of right now, we are only, rather all the governments are only going few steps at a time. For example, in India, they will extend the lockdown. That's what we are hearing, right? Some of the states have already put it in place. Some of them will rather put it in place soon. And the countrywide lockdown might extend to, that's what we are hearing, until the end of April. Canada has already, rather Ontario, the province of Ontario has already extended the state of emergency to 23rd of April, I think, if I'm not wrong with the date, probably. And again, these are all watch and act kind of actions. So again, come closer to 23rd of April, they will again look at the situation and then extend it further. So we are going month by month into dates forward. New York this morning has already announced that the school year, which usually ends in the month of June, is already, they've said the children will not be coming back to school. So that is all looking difficult. And while I'm talking to you, finally we have somebody who has decided to join us. Thank you so much, Dheeraj. I'm going to bring him on and then see what he has to say. Okay. Come on, Dheeraj, come on in. Hey, Dheeraj, how are you? Can you hear me? Okay, let me put my headphones on because otherwise I won't be able to hear you, right? Hold on.
Hello, sir.
Perfect. Right. Dheeraj, how are you?
I'm really good, sir.
Excellent. You decided to come on. Yeah, finally, I was thinking nobody is going to come. I mean, for some reason.
Yeah, I
I
was
think
sleeping, but I got invitation, so that's why I was like, I have to.
good thing you did that. Do you have headphones by any chance? Because the voice is echoing.
Yes, let me find somewhere.
Are you studying now, Dheeraj?
No, sir, I'm right now on my work permit.
Okay, and where do you work?
So, right now I'm working at The Source. It's
Okay,
a tech retailer company in all over Canada
okay,
as a store manager in the company.
okay. And since how long have you been working now?
Pardon me, sir.
Since how long have you been working?
So, I started working last year in November.
In last year in November. So obviously, Dheeraj, I'm assuming again this is an assumption. Do you have friends? Which college did you graduate from?
So I got graduated last year in May from College of the Rockies in Cranbrook,
Okay,
British Columbia.
excellent. So right now you are still in BC.
Yeah,
Okay, very nice. Now, while you are living in BC, and I'm sure you would have some friends who are still studying. Do you still have any connections? Some friends who are studying?
of course, sir. There are a few friends which are like still studying over there. And why I like British Columbia because it's peaceful here. I went to like Vancouver as well, Surrey as well.
Okay,
So it's crowded over there. A lot of immigrants over there.
okay,
So over here there is no like a lot of our people, and I
okay.
really like over here, like it's mountains everywhere, and you can go for hiking, a lot of outdoor activities you can do over here, so that's why I
Okay,
like this part of the country.
very nice. So you're basically also enjoying your time in Canada now.
Yeah.
Perfect. So do you? So what I was trying to ask you is that you do have friends who are currently studying, right?
Yes.
Now, those friends of yours, have you spoken to them recently as to what is happening with them? How are their conditions? What is the situation with them?
So yes, I am talking to them. So everything, they have exam in this month, and everything is gonna be online, and the weightage of the assignments is increasing. Like when they had 60% weighted of the assignments, now they are 80%, and then there
Okay,
will be a like 20% of exam as a open book exam, something like that.
okay,
So nobody is going to college right now, and even college is providing some extra help to the international students as well. Like
okay.
they gave $200 for the groceries from my college, and they
Very
asked
nice.
like funding for they asked for funding first, and then they gave the money to the international students. So which
Okay,
is really
that's
good part.
yeah, that's pretty interesting. So you're saying your college is actually assisting students by giving them what $200 for groceries?
Yes, sir.
Very nice. And also a lot of the criteria of your exams has been relaxed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's pretty good. But by and large, how are people coping? I mean, for example, since you already passed from your college, so this thing doesn't apply to you. For example, but if you were right now in a college, where would you be living? Would you be living somewhere close to your college or in a college dormitory if you have one?
So I will definitely like live somewhere near the college because college housing is really expensive, and I couldn't afford that while on like student permit and doing 20 hours work per week. So that's gonna be hard. That's why I would prefer to live outside of the college campus. Then it might be like affordable for me. and that's what I did actually.
No, but that is in your case. I'm saying, so if the students where they were wherever they are living, so are they facing any problems where they are staying as well? And of course, also what about the part-time jobs? Part-time jobs are not coming through the same way as they were before, right? So what kind of situation do you think students are facing with that?
So there is a lot of things that are going on right now. Um, like actually, it's a really stressful thing when nobody knew about this, and like everyone is worried. So they are just staying at home and keeping themselves busy, doing some assignments and stuff. So it's really stressful situation going on right now. As far as I know, they might be. I don't know if someone got the Canadian relief benefits yet or not, but they applied for that and hopefully they are gonna get it and then they can pay their rent and stuff as well.
Yeah, well, difficult situations. Well, I'm glad you still have a job and you're still working fine and you're safe. So that's very nice to hear and nice to see. Listen, thank you
Thank you,
so much
sir.
for coming online, and I appreciate it. You stay safe. Keep keep washing your hands and maintaining your social distance.
Thank you,
Thank you for
sir.
joining.
Have a great day.
You too. Right. So that was Dheeraj. So nice of Dheeraj to have come online with us and discussed, rather shared some of his experiences. I'm going to bring somebody else on. Who do I have here? I have Devesh. Now Devesh is also in Canada, and let's see what he has to say. Devesh, you will be on, and okay, there is Devesh. Now,
How's it going?
very well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How's everything been?
Perfect. So, which part of Canada are you in, Devesh?
So currently I'm in London, Ontario. It's
Okay.
around about a 2-hour drive from Toronto, the main city.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know. Okay. So 2 hours drive from Toronto. How often do you come to Toronto?
I don't come that often, honestly. I mean, maybe once in a month or in 2 months. I mean, I'm pretty busy in London because currently I'm studying at the Ivy Business School at Western University, finishing my undergrad. So so basically just finished my third year,
Okay.
and I have one more year to go, basically.
Very nice. And so you're in your third year, you said?
Yeah, in my third year. Yeah.
Okay. For the just for the sake of information, what's your annual fee like?
Oh, the annual fee. It's around, so it depends from year on year. So the first 2 years when I was there, it was around 27K, 27,000.
Per year.
And in third and fourth year, Canadian, I'm talking about Canadian dollars.
Okay. And this is per
And
year, right?
sorry?
This is per year, right? Annual.
Annual, yes, annually,
Okay. All
annually.
right. Okay.
Just the tuition I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Okay. Okay.
And in third and fourth year, it jumped up to 40,000 because I transferred from the main campus to the business school, basically.
Wow. And you're doing an MBA with them.
No, just an undergrad, just my
Okay.
bachelor's
Well,
right now.
all right. So even for your bachelor's, you're paying now 47,000. Wow. Okay.
40,000, yeah.
Excellent. I mean, I don't know, I should be saying excellent or not, but yeah, I mean, that's an awful, that's an awful amount of money. And again, the reason why I'm asking you this question is because there are a lot of people out there who are watching this right now, and a lot of people don't really understand the actual expense that comes around, or that basically gets attached
Hmm.
to studying in Canada. So
Yeah.
when you say your first 2 years you paid 27,000, now you're paying nearly 40,000 Canadian dollars. Does this include your living expenses?
No, it doesn't include. The living expenses also are quite high in Canada, honestly. It's like, look, I have like a little bit of a scholarship, so that helped a little bit, but it wasn't too much. And it's just that like it's like the living expenses are quite high in Canada overall. So you have to, when you budget, you got to budget for like additional expenses always. But yeah, I mean, the main reason I'm coming on the call is because for me personally, right now, I'm stuck in Canada because so I'm an Indian citizen, but my family lives in Dubai,
Okay.
uh, residents of Dubai, and
Okay.
I was trying to go back, but my study permit and my visa had expired on
Mhm.
March 16th, which is like about a month ago,
Okay.
and I applied in Jan for an extension for my study permit because I still have a year and a half left to go. And the Canadian immigration system, I don't know what, like how it is, but like they take literally over 120 days just to
Yeah.
extend your study permit, just to extend one piece of paper, which is pretty disappointing. Which is
It
why I
is.
was basically stuck here and I wasn't able to go back. You know, they've closed the borders back home in Dubai,
Yeah.
in India, in Canada, everywhere. You know.
But why did you have to apply for extension? I mean, don't you did rather didn't you get your study permit for the entire duration of your
Yeah,
studies?
So what happens is my passport was expiring March 16th. So when I'd come here 2.5 years ago, they only gave it to me for the first 2.5 years, and they said when you renew your passport, then you can renew your study permit and your visa as well. So they gave me the study permit and visa only till March 16th. But it just happened that COVID has come at this time, and I mean, I really don't know when I'll be able to see my family at this point. They're back in Dubai, and I'm over here. But yeah, that's the situation that I'm in right now. And I
Yeah, that
honestly don't
sucks.
know, like the clarity from, I don't know whether you would have the answers, but the clarity from the immigration has been pathetic. They haven't been picking up our phones, haven't been giving us much clarity on anything. I understand they got to take care of their citizens first. I completely understand that, but in the end, we're human and we're here. We're paying all this tuition and all that, and it's just been pretty disappointing, honestly.
No, I am with you on this, and that was one of the reasons why we are doing this video, and we are bringing in people who can sort of share. And I'm hoping somewhere somebody can sort of send a link to somebody who can make a decision in IRCC and understand what the plight of students is, because so far IRCC and the government has already taken care of the citizens, they're taking care of residents, they're taking care
Yeah,
of workers. Students really haven't been identified as the suffering lot yet. I mean, for some reason they've just assumed to, I mean, I wouldn't say ignored them entirely, but they still haven't come on their priority list, right? I mean, yeah, okay, obviously citizens come first, no doubt about it, right?
yeah,
Then obviously they have sort of made provisions for the permanent residents, they made provisions for the workers, temporary workers, and giving them all kinds of relief, right? Whether it's employment insurance, whether it's CERB, whether it's even for the businesses or the
yeah,
wage subsidy. But so
yeah,
far, nothing specific has been identified for students, right?
yeah,
Okay, I can understand if as a student you were already working and you
mm,
have lost your employment, then of course you are entitled for employment insurance.
yeah,
If you have made a certain amount of money last year, about say $5,000, I think, within the last 12 months or 2019, again you are eligible for CERB as well. But
yeah,
what about students who, because of the fact that it was part-time job,
mm,
either and I know that a lot of students do cash jobs, right?
yeah,
Because
of course, yeah,
absolutely, it, whether we like it or not, that is the that is the reality. Lots of them do cash jobs, so they're struggling. Lots of them may not be eligible for employment insurance.
yeah,
Lots of them may not be eligible for CERB because it was cash jobs or whatever you want to call it. They're not
mm,
eligible, but they have still paid. Like yourself, you've paid exorbitant amount of money for tuition fees, for cost of living expenses, and somehow you've fallen under the cracks, between the cracks. Nobody is taking care. Nobody is identified. Nobody is seeing what's going on and what's happening. And
yeah.
not only that, and again, as you said, your issue with your visas, right?
Mm.
See
Like
now,
it's, yeah,
technically,
mm,
before you leave Canada, you should get your study permit renewed,
yeah,
technically, right?
yeah.
But given the current conditions, I'm sure there are lots of exemptions being made in lots of ways, and you could very well leave Canada. It could still get extended, and you can come back. But then there is always that question mark that what if you face problem once you're coming back?
That's the issue. Yeah, I mean, like all I'm asking is literally is that, uh, just like I'm not even asking for any benefits or something. I'm just asking to go visit my family basically and be with them at this time. Sure, I can take care of myself, but I mean, if you can be with your family at this time, then that's the best thing possible.
No, I
Um,
absolutely with you on that. I absolutely with you on that. Tell me, so do you work as well, or you just studying? I mean,
no, currently I don't work because the demands of my program are really really challenging. So
okay,
this doesn't allow me to work currently as a whole. But yeah, I mean, like my university just finished exams. They just like preponed our exams, and we all finished our exams. So I'm basically done with university.
okay,
I had a flight booked back home for tomorrow, but that's definitely not going to happen now.
okay.
But yeah, I'm basically just waiting here
Have
until
you
they open the borders.
have you tried reaching CIC on Twitter
Yeah,
and even the immigration minister? Because even if they haven't responded to you, I would suggest that you probably
yeah.
tweet once, twice every day.
Yeah. Already. So I remember my mom had reached out and she sent me a screenshot of what they replied. So they just said that this might be some useful information for other people, that they're not for any study permit extensions. I'm not talking about if you're a new student. I'm talking about if you're already a student in Canada. They said that they will not be rejecting any applicants, even if your documents are missing, and they're trying their best. That I don't know what does that mean, but they said they're trying their best to process the applications as fast as possible.
Okay, yeah. Well, I can understand the second part that they're trying their best. You cannot even imagine the load that immigration right now has with. You see, okay, yours is a very genuine query because there is no clear uh, answer to that available online. But imagine there are hundreds and thousands of people who are messaging CIC on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
even about information which has clearly been mentioned. I mean, it is happening on our Facebook groups, man, for God's sake. I mean, I said yesterday, for example, I put up a post saying IRCC has suspended visit visa application processing. And you should
Yeah.
see the comments. People are saying, so what will happen to my immigration application? What will happen to my work permit application? I mean, read the post. It has the attachment.
Yeah.
It has clear details from CIC as to
Yeah.
what has been, what has been. But in spite of that, there are questions, right? And I can understand sometimes people are confused. But
Yeah.
when it has been clearly defined, then there is no confusion.
Yeah.
Same thing happens with CIC. There are
Yeah.
people sending them all kinds of questions, including will there be a federal skilled worker draw or not. So it's a mess there.
Look, Zubair, I completely understand, but at the same time, I see it in this way. I mean, at this time, with whatever's going on in the world, at least for me, I'm trying to have as much empathy as I can. People might be going through some seriously stressful situation. So even if someone asks that question, I think the best way to look at it is to look at it from an empathetic point of view. I feel because we really don't know what someone's going through. I mean, in the end, of course, I'm still stuck here, and sure, I miss my family, but I've just been telling myself that in the end, I'm grateful. I have food on my plate. I have a roof over my head. I mean, that's the main thing that you can really ask for in the end.
No, absolutely. I'm with you. I'm entirely with you on that, and that is one of the reasons why we keep updating everybody with whatever
Yeah.
information we get at any point of time. But no, listen, Devesh, thank you so much for having joined us and having shared your part of the experience of what's happening. But as far as your college is concerned, have they done something different? Have they sort of taken any steps to help you guys?
They haven't, like, honestly, like it's been maybe a little disappointing on my university side. They haven't helped us out too much with the information part of things, and our university, of course, they switched all the exams online, so that was, I guess, helpful in a way. But they weren't like super supportive. And the exact like for me it was fine, but they made some of the exams even harder after COVID, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, it's not been the best support, but it's not been too bad as well. It's sort of neutral, you could say.
Well, all right. I mean, what can we say about that? I just wanted to understand if there was anything coming out from that side. But listen, thank you for joining in. Thank you for sharing your experiences and stay safe, man.
No worries. Thank you so much, Zubair. Thanks.
Well, that was Devesh. Thank you, Devesh, for having joined in. Thank you for earlier, you know. Now again, as I'm coming back to the same thing that there were others. As I said, there were nearly 10 people who had agreed to come online to discuss their experiences. But for some reason, I don't see them around. I'm not sure if they're having trouble with joining in or with the link or something. But listen, if you're listening to me, if you have joined us live today, and if you are an international student in Canada, uh, you know come on in. We will take you in, and then we will want to hear from you as to what's happening with you. Meanwhile, let me take some more questions to see if I can help getting some answers across to them. Okay, let me see what I will do. Okay, nice question. Sarvana Kumar says, can we expect any reduction in the full-time MBA fees since the campus-based classroom session is changing to online mode? It's a great question, and I wish I could give an answer to that, but I can't. I would expect that to happen, but or rather, I mean, I would at least expect certain colleges to take note of that. That the very fact that the students are not getting the benefit of a classroom training or a classroom learning, that there should be some sort of compensation. There should be some sort of reduction in their fee. But again, as much as the colleges are temples of learning, they are also big business houses, whether we like it or not. I mean, they are as I said earlier, that this is you're talking about huge money being part of this. You're talking billions of dollars, and not only as tuition fees but also a lot of support that goes into running a not financial educational institution. Now, in their defense, they can always come back and say that they have fixed costs associated with running and offering a program, whether it is providing for salaries of the teachers, or whether having a institution in terms of the physical college, and that, because of the COVID situation, sort of doesn't get reduced, right? So from a student not attending a classroom, as far as a college is concerned, their expenses don't reduce. I mean, just because the student is not in a classroom, I think the only thing which will reduce probably is the electricity charges, right? Because they don't have to sort of switch on the lights in their classrooms anymore, or the air conditioning, or whatever you want to call it. So utilities might get reduced, but apart from that, the fixed costs will remain the same. The salaries for the staff will remain the same. So as much as I understand what you're saying, and I would hope somebody sort of takes notice of that and reduces the fee so that to sort of compensate the students. But I don't see that happening, to be very honest, because again, for example, as far as colleges are concerned, the May intake, or rather the students who are supposed to come to colleges in the May, did not happen, or rather will not happen. Uh, and therefore lots of people are deferring programs. So colleges are losing out on almost one or two terms of studies, or of two terms of new students who would have come to the college, who are now deferring, or even considering to not come to Canada at all for studies. So under this condition, do they choose to offer discounted fees, reduced fees? It's a business decision, I guess, they will have to make. I personally don't see that happening, but it's an interesting point of view. Yes, of course, I agree with you on that one. Okay. All right. Shrutika says, can I apply for student visit along with family for September intake? Now, I don't really understand your question, Shrutika. I mean, can I apply for student visit? So I do not understand student visit. What do you mean by student visit? I mean, you will apply for your study permit, and if you want to apply for your family to join you, whether as part of if you're married, then you will get your spouse and open work permit. Then yes, technically you can apply together, of course, and there is nothing wrong with that. And the approval again is completely discretionary based on whatever IRCC sees in your documentation and in your statement of purpose. Okay, we now have Mr. Abdul Alim. Abdul Alim wants to join in. Let's see what Abdul has to share. Abdul is going to be with us in 3, 2, 1, and here. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Abdul.
Walaikum salam. I'm unable to see your video. No,
You're not able to see. You're not able to see my video.
Yeah.
That's pretty strange because I can see both of us on the video. I'm not sure why that is happening. Uh, okay. Anybody else who's watching us, can you see both of us on the screens, or not? Cannot see us on the screens? Can we sort of get some sort of comment there so I can understand what's happening over there? Anybody out there, guys? Just a moment. Get some sort of comment there so I can understand what's happening over there. Anybody out there, guys? Okay. Looks like, yeah, I can see you. There's no problem there. Sorry, I mean, nothing wrong there, buddy. So I'm not sure what your screen is doing for you and why it is not able to show you what you are looking for. But since you can hear me, let's talk. Where are you right now?
So I'm currently in India, and I got my visa
Okay.
for May.
You got your visa for May?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I have applied in CJEP College.
Sorry, which college?
CJEP. It's in Montreal.
Okay, you got, okay, perfect. And what program are you planning to study?
So I've applied for project management, which
Okay.
is a 1-year course.
Okay, and when were you scheduled to start? September?
No, I was. My classes were about to start on 23rd May,
Okay.
and at this point of time, the problem is that although we have booked our tickets and we have everything set up, but there's no confirmation from the college end. So we got
There is no confirmation from the college.
yeah.
Have you
Neither.
tried contacting them?
Yeah, they said that you will have to wait for an update, but since now, till now we didn't get any update from them.
Okay, that's pretty strange.
That
I
we are
mean,
exempt from travel ban, and we
yeah.
can move to India, but we don't know whether our intake will be deferred to September, or will we be into May intake itself.
So I haven't heard of colleges deferring their intake. It is the students who are requesting their intake to be deferred. Okay. So as far as colleges are concerned, what has happened is with most of the colleges, and again, you will have to get that confirmation from your college. With most of the colleges, what has happened is that they have switched to online training. Okay, for the time being, until there is some clarity in this. So with this online training, all the classrooms are being held online, so you can still take part in the classroom learning and sort of continue with your studies. And as far as IRCC has clearly announced that it will have no effect on your validity for your postgraduate work permit, so that's not an issue. I I mean, as I'm saying, I haven't heard of any colleges deferring the program itself, so it doesn't help them because they can actually continue teaching students through online platforms. So you will still need to understand from your college if you can defer your start. So it is your option whether you. So as of right now, you can actually start learning or start your college program staying in your home country and taking the online classes, and as and when the exams happen. I think that is also now a lot of colleges are now switching to open book exams and online exams as well. But as long as you only do 50% of your training, or rather 50% of your learning within the of your program, if you can do it online, that's fine. As of right now, IRCC says that 50% of your training, if it is online, they will accept it and they will still issue your postgraduate work permit. But again, you will need this clarity and you will need this information from your college. Nobody else will be able to sort of give that to you.
I do have many friends who got their visas for May intake, and
Okay.
their college and universities have informed them that they will be either moved to September, or their intake will start in the month of June or July.
Okay. So you're saying the colleges themselves have moved away or rather have deferred their program.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty interesting to note. Now, well, again, you see that again, that information or that decision has to come from the college itself, right?
Yes. So my problem is there's no problem even if they differ, but the thing is that we'll need to have a clarity when it comes to differing or anything like that.
Yeah, of course, you will definitely need clarity on that. But I'm glad you shared that because I was of the under the impression that the colleges themselves are not differing, or they would rather be interested in conducting online programs so that their students who are already who have already joined in, they can continue with their studies. But thank you, Aline, thank you for sharing that, and I hope you get some clarity from your college.
I hope so.
Thank you. Stay
And
safe, my friend.
bye.
Okay, that was Alim. He was very kind to speak to us and tell us what's happening since he hasn't really arrived in Canada. I'm bringing next online Mr. Jagjit Singh Samra, and let's see what he has to share with us. Jagjit, can you hear me? Hello, Jagjit. Jagjit, hi. Jagjit, can you hear me? No, not there.
Hello.
Hi, Jagjit, can you hear me? Jagjit can certainly talk, we can hear his voice, but Jagjit himself can. Oh, okay, Jagjit is gone because he thought, okay, right, perfect. Maybe he will come back again. Now, I'm just sharing what Vaibhav has just mentioned. Vaibhav says some universities are offering an extra semester instead of reducing fees. This makes 1 year program to 16 months program. Does that make them eligible for 3 year work permit? Very interesting question, Vaibhav. Because now what will happen is again something which we will need more clarity on. I mean, I cannot say for sure because uh, if you have completed your 1 year program in 2 years, that does not necessarily entitle you for a 3 year work permit. Okay, because the program itself was for 1 year. You could have an extension in your study permit. You could have a extension because you still haven't completed that program. In this case, if the college is extending the semester, because I don't understand the reason why they would give an extra semester. Because if you have completed your studies in 2 semesters, what is the benefit of you getting an extra semester there? Okay, and again, with extra semester, it doesn't become a 16-month program. It will probably become a 12-month program if it was a 2 months. Sorry, if it was a 2 semester program. If it was a 1 year program and they are giving an extra semester, then it still becomes 14 months, not 16 months exactly, because one semester would be about 4 months, right? So again, that clarity has to come, because just because they have added an extra semester does not make that program a 2 year program. Okay, but again, clarity on this will have to come from IRCC, because these are exceptional times. These are the extraordinary times, something which we did not expect, something which we did not plan, something which we did not know about. And different people in authority are taking, or rather making, different decisions and trying to give as much provision as possible to people so that things can get better, or they can actually get some benefit out of it. Let's see how things happen. Okay, this is the next question from D says, how will the job market be in Canada this year? Is it advisable to travel to Canada this year at all? Okay. Uh, okay, there's a lot of speculation, right? But let's talk about the actual statistics, the actual I wouldn't say statistics, but actual data which is coming through. Now, if you were to look at Stats Canada data for the March April month, which I think some of it has already been issued, uh, or if you were to depend on the information that is coming from the federal government in terms of how many applications they have received for employment insurance or for the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit programs, then that number is in millions. Okay, now because that number is in millions means that many number of people have lost their jobs or have lost their source of income. Now, if that will be so, as and when things normalize, as and when things will sort of become better, uh, obviously a lot of these people will go back to jobs, will go back to working. But then we also understand, because of this COVID situation, there will be a lot of industries which are going to take a huge hit. Cruise lines, I mean, people are already writing off cruise lines. Okay, leisure, anything to do with leisure industry, whether it was leisure holidays, leisure travel, hotels, fine dining restaurants, all of these are expected, that they will take a serious amount of hit. Now, when these, and there are so many businesses which are shut down, there are so many businesses which have closed. Okay, so many factories that have closed, so many other kinds of industries which are facing some very serious very severe strain. Now, with this happening, it will automatically put a lot of strain on the job market. Now, does this current year make it feasible? Well, that is time is going to tell. But personally, if I was to sort of look at these things for the time being, I would seriously want to sort of look at whether I really want to do this. Well, I have somebody else who wants to come online. Let's see what he has to say. Okay, Gautam, you're in next in 3, 2, 1. You're coming in now. Okay, perfect.
Hi sir, how are you?
Hi, Gautam. Your name is Gautam Durga. How
Yes,
are you,
my name is
Gautam?
Gautam sir. I'm calling you from Toronto, sir.
Oh, you're calling from Toronto, so basically just few kilometers away.
Oh yeah,
How have you been?
I'm good, sir. How are you, sir?
Where are you studying?
I studied from Humber College, sir. I got 3 year work permit then.
So when,
So
when did you finish, or when
I
did you
finished
finish
in
your college?
sir 2016. I finished in 2016.
You finished in 2016.
Yeah, but
Wow.
yeah, sir. The major concern is regarding COVID. Is that like I recently I got LMI, sir. After my postgraduate work permit, I work as a cook as a basically I worked in 3 years in hotel. So, but the thing is that, but after since my LMI came and because of this COVID pandemic, my hours got cut. So, will it affect on my process or like I have to do something else? Like, you have to show the hours
What do you mean your hours got cut?
because I was supposed before I was getting like 40 hours, 35 hours, but now I'm getting only 5 hours, 10 hours right now, sir, because of COVID.
Week. Is that 5 hours per week, or 5 hours
Yeah,
in a
5 hours
day?
per week or 10 hours per week because their business is very low right now.
Well, to be very honest with you, giving an answer to this question as of right now is irrelevant. The reason for that is because CIC hasn't come out and said something specific as to the exemptions or as to the provisions they will make for people who are losing out on hours because they cannot complete their Canadian work experience because of the situation, right? Until that happens, for me to say anything is basically doesn't make any sense, because the information has to come from IRCC, and whenever it does happen, obviously we will share it on the groups. As of right now, there is no specific exemption. As of right now, I think right now their priority is to first figure out what to do with whatever is happening. Uh, in your condition, even if you are eligible to apply, how will that exemption or provision happen? Again, it has to come from IRCC. Whether they will reduce the number of hours or they will accept certain conditions where you could not fulfill. So, how many hours or how many years of work experience have you completed?
Sir, before I had getting LMI, I had 3 years of work experience in Canada only in my same knock B. And now after getting LMI, I've been it's been now 3 months now.
Okay.
Same knock
So,
B.
yeah, but I didn't understand. So, you already have 3 years of work experience in Canada.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, why are you
Because
worried
I
right
didn't
now?
have like I did my WES of my diploma. They rejected my WES.
Okay. But again, CRS score maxes out at 3 years for points. So what are you worried about then exactly?
Really? Because somebody told me, because I was reading on online on your CRC on your group only on Facebook. I was reading that said like LMIA, if you're not getting enough hours, like which they put you on paper like 35 40 hours. If
No, there is no such requirement. For LMIA, you can get 50 points. Okay,
yes
if
sir,
your knock is A, 0A or B, there is no requirement for working hours connected to your LMIA. Okay, your 50 points you will get if you get a valid job offer from your employer,
I got
and
already.
and if it is invalid zero, knock 0A or B. That's it.
I
There is
I
no
got the
criteria.
I got the confirmation from the CRC about the LMIA.
That's it. So your 3 years you will get for your Canadian work experience, your points you will get for your LMIA, and you're good. So you don't have to be worried. I mean, as long as you're working. So the
I'm
fact that
working
you
right
have an,
now.
yeah, you have an LMIA, you are currently working with this employer, you're good.
Okay, okay, because so it doesn't relate to any hours right now.
No, no, don't worry about it.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Take care, man. Take care. All the
Thank
best.
you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Inderjeet, how are you? I am able to hear you. I'm bringing in Mr. Inderjeet next. He looks very excited. Excellent. And this is Inderjeet. Hi, Inderjeet. How's everything?
I am fine, sir. I'm super
Where,
good.
where are you right now? I mean, which part of the
I'm in
world are you?
currently I'm in Brampton.
You're in Brampton.
Yes.
Oh, very good. That is so like,
I'm studying business analysis from Sheridan College, and it's my last month. My exams are going on.
okay.
Actually, I am worried about my postgraduate work permit because I took 1 year of studies,
Mhm.
and I'll get possibly 1 year of work permit. So, is government planning to extend any postgraduate work permit due to this pandemic?
I would love to get that answer as well. Again, so far it hasn't been announced. But what will happen is that you still have time to apply for your work permit. So I would suggest don't apply immediately. Just wait
Okay.
because until when is your study permit valid for?
It's till August.
Okay. So I would suggest do not be in a rush to apply for your postgraduate work permit. Wait till you see something having settled down, because the minute you will apply for your postgraduate work permit, from that time onwards you will be on an implied status. You can start working. Whenever they do issue you your work permit, it will have a 1 year validity. As of right now, there has been no announcements whether they will be giving an additional period of validity on the work permits or not. As of right now, that has not been announced. That has those exemptions have not been made. But I would suggest that since you already have a valid study permit, though you cannot work on a study permit after your studies will complete, but do not apply for a postgraduate work permit. Until closer to the expiry or within the expiry period of your study permit, so that way at least you'll be able to see what's happening in the market,
Okay. My
right?
second question is like right now we are on online mode. So can we work more than 20 hours?
No.
Okay.
So, as far as the law is concerned, again, there has been no exemptions or there has been no provisions to allow you to work additional hours. So, everything as far as your conditions and terms for your study permit is concerned, that you're allowed 20 hours per week while your program is ongoing, that still stays. So, even now, you're allowed only 20 hours per week. Only once you finish your studies and once you apply for postgraduate work permit, then you can work full time.
Okay. My third question is my employer has not given me the full hours for this week, and he also deducted some hours from previous week. So it's like he's giving me like 15 hours or 14 hours. Previously, before that pandemic, he was giving me full 20 hours. So I am eligible to apply for government benefits or not?
Well, government benefits will kick in only if there is a loss of income. Okay. Now, if there is a loss of income and you're eligible for under the employment insurance, but you're still working, right? So you haven't lost your job. So there has been a reduced number of I mean, the reduced amount of benefits. To be very honest, you will need to go back to the CIC website, rather not even CIC Canada.ca website. There is a full description of what benefits are available and under which conditions you can apply for what kind of benefits. Okay.
Okay.
I suggest you go and check that. And if it applies to you, by all means do apply for those benefits. You should be getting them. But tell me,
Okay.
you're studying in Sheridan. Has
Yes.
your college made any provisions for you? Have they given you any kind of benefits? Have they sort of
Oh, they have made so many provisions. They
yeah,
are
okay,
allowing
let's,
us
let's let's
to.
talk about that.
So they have given us the opportunity to have the laptop from the college fund, and they are also dispersing the monies who have lost the jobs and who has some effect on their lives due to this pandemic, or they want to go back home. So they are dispersing, like there's a bracket of $1,000 to $1,500 they are
Okay.
going to give us. I've already applied for that. I hope so I'll get it.
Oh,
So
that's pretty good.
they're doing
That's
so
very
many things.
nice. Yeah, okay. And so, where do you stay? Do you stay within the college campus or you stay outside?
No, I stay outside with my brother.
You stay with your brother. But
Yes.
of what you know about your friends who are living within the college campus, or anybody else who's facing any
So my
more
friend,
difficulties?
he lost his job 2 weeks back, and he also applied for the government benefit. He got the benefit from the government by next day. He applied, and from the college we haven't got any announcement yet. Yeah, they got like 60,000 applications. Oh, sorry,
Wow.
not 60,000 application. It's been like 7 lakh something amount of disbursement
Okay.
application.
Wow.
So
That's a huge number.
it's a huge number. So college has sent us mail like we are deciding to whom do we have give this money on whom are not eligible for it. So
I
they're gonna
understand.
verify the background, and
Okay.
according to that they will manage their funds.
Okay. But apart from losing on the certain number of hours in your employment, have you faced any other specific difficulty which you think you would have otherwise been comfortable with?
No, there's no other any difficulty. Like hours are reduced, and I'm currently working with McDonald's on Mississauga Road, if you
Okay.
heard about.
Yeah.
So we are taking precautionary measures. Our employer insisted us to wash hands in every 15 minutes. So they put a timer there, and after
Okay.
15 minutes, we all have to go back to the back, and we have to wash our hands, and then we have to get our work. So it's like we are doing
Yeah.
this. Some
Yeah.
people
Maybe.
have made like McDonald's is like they will give you coronavirus food, but no, it's not like that. We are washing our hands constantly in
That's
every 15
yeah,
minutes.
that's very nice to know. That's very nice to know, Inderjeet. But
Yeah.
tell me this while you're working, and I saw some posts. So obviously now there is no dine in. You're working for McDonald's, right? So there is no dine in. So there is a lot of takeout service that you do right now.
Yes.
So have you seen increased in the number of orders because more people are now ordering takeouts and takeaways?
Yes, there's an increase in the numbers. More people are coming to drive through because dining is closed, and many people are the number of customers are increased
Okay.
from previously.
I don't want you to give me a figure because that obviously is not possible. But do you think there is increase in sales just because of the more takeouts happening now?
Yeah, there's increase in sales because there's another McDonald's right behind my McDonald's joint in the Walmart. So that is also closed. So
Okay. Oh, so
people used to go there after
okay.
shopping. So they come directly to the drive-through, and more people coming because they are not able to, like some of them are working right now in the essential
Sure,
services. So they
sure.
are not able to cook food at their home. So many hospital staff come here, many police, many people, paramedic, so they usually come here and take the food from McDonald's and Tim Horton joints.
Okay,
So
that's
the
very interesting.
customer is increased.
Yeah, but even I don't think McDonald's is serving coronavirus food. I do not know where that kind of rumors are coming from. But
Yeah.
have you? I mean, have you been asked? Except for washing your hands, which is a good thing, and I'm sure you will very soon need some sort of good hand cream or moisturizer to sort of
Yeah.
get rid of your dry. But apart from that, have you been asked to take any certain other precautions? Have you been asked to sort of change the way you're working? Any different processes that have been introduced because of this pandemic?
No, there's no any certain process which they have changed apart from washing hands and wearing gloves. No, other than that, there's no any changes in the process right now.
Okay, all right. But
Yeah.
okay, and do you see again? You see, lots of people have lost their jobs because of pandemic and whatever you want to call it. But again, then there has also been an increase in the number of people being recruited. For example, Walmart, Amazon. These people have come out with lots and lots of new vacancies. Have you seen anything happening in your store, or have you heard of that happening with McDonald's as well?
So, so many people have booked off due to this pandemic, and obviously they are getting the government benefits, so they don't need to work. But I am not eventually. I'm not eligible because I haven't worked previously $5,000, so I'm not eligible in that benefit, and neither I lost my job due to this pandemic.
Okay.
So I've seen that
That's a
hours
different
has been
perspective I'm hearing of now.
hours has been reduced, and they are hiring. Our McDonald's is hiring more people, but I don't know the reason why they are not giving me the hours if they are hiring outside.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
So yeah, they are hiring. Like Walmart is also hiring because they need people to stock the things. And you have seen the pace how people are picking the groceries and collecting them in their house. So they need more people behind that. So Walmart and the Sobeys, they are hiring currently. My friend got hired recently in the pandemic in Sobeys.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So obviously
Yeah,
there is some job market movement there, anyways.
yes.
Thank you for joining us. I
Okay,
hope you get.
I have a last question.
Yes, please.
So my question is like, my internship is going to start off in this May, 4th May, and it's an unpaid internship, and I got offer, which I was not expecting due to this pandemic. Eventually, I got it. So my
Because it's
question,
unpaid. That's why you got
yeah,
an
it's
offer.
unpaid. Yeah, that's why I got it. So my question is like that: can I work like apart from that job? It's a part-time job. It's a part-time internship. Can I work somewhere else apart from this job?
See, if this internship is part of your study, then that
Yeah.
basically means you still are eligible for the study. You're still eligible to work under the study permit conditions. Okay. So as
Okay.
long as you're continuing to study, you're eligible under the study permit conditions. So if that is 20 hours per week, then that is 20 hours per week.
So, but 25 hours I'm giving my an internship.
Okay. So that
So,
internship is not paid, right?
no, it's not paid.
Is it part of your studies?
Okay, yeah.
If it is
So,
part of your studies, and then that will be considered as your study is ongoing. And
okay.
because your study is ongoing, therefore, under your study permit conditions, you can still work for 20 hours off
Okay, so I
campus.
have a still 20 hours option available.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you for joining in. Wish you all the best.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe. Keep
Thank
washing
you
your
so much.
hands.
You too, yeah.
So that was very nice of Mr. Inderjeet to have joined us. Well, that was an amazing session, right? So many people discussing so many different things. Uh, Okay, I'll just take this couple of questions so we can get moving there. Imtiaz saying, is there any issue of gap in education? I mean, I did BCom 3 years back. Can I get admission in 2 years diploma course? Well, the gap in education is a problem only with colleges. Some colleges will not accept for a gap in studies for five if there was more than 5 years of gap. So in your case, you are saying 3 years back. So yeah, if it is a 3 years gap, most colleges will accept it. I don't see having it being a problem. As far as IRCC is concerned, there is no requirement, there is no restriction, there is no problems with the gap. All they are concerned about is that you should be a bona fide and a genuine student. You want to come to Canada to study. So your statement of purpose is extremely important. You need to show, or rather, you need to exhibit convincingly in your statement of purpose why Canada, why this particular college, why this particular program. It has to tie in, it has to sort of have relation with your work experience and with your previous study. And Canada needs to understand that this is going to make a big difference in your life, whether this is going to have an effect on you, and could you not study this program elsewhere or in your home country. So once you're able to sort of tie everything in together, and be convincingly be able to explain to IRCC why you wish to do this program, you should have success in getting an approval. So that answers your questions. Well, again, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining in. Tomorrow we are going to also have similar program, but that will be more to do with the new immigrants. So if you are a new immigrant in Canada, if you have recently joined, or rather, if you have recently landed in Canada as a permanent resident, if you are looking to come to Canada and you already have your approval, but you still haven't landed in Canada, but you're still thinking. So tomorrow's live session that we're going to have is going to be about that. We're going to take lots of people who are in the process of either coming to Canada, who have recently come to Canada. We're going to talk to them. We're going to understand what their issues have been, what challenges they are facing. Have they landed a job? Have they not found a job? Did they find accommodation? Did they not find accommodation? Have they availed any benefits or not? All of that in tomorrow's session. Come back again. I will be posting the link. And until such time, bye bye.